Hey, good morning. It's Mike Chunky at Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Shifting Properties in Scottsdale, Arizona. Friday morning market chat with Mike. We're going to talk about residential. We're going to talk about commercial. And we're going to talk about the hangout for 10 minutes. I just want to point out some things on the economy and interest rates here. So just about 10 minutes. We try to keep these two. Anyway, inventory in the residential market. Single family detached homes. Pretty even across the board this week. Scottsdale has 30 less. We're seeing some houses that have been on the market go cancel for the summer, and we'll start seeing that as the weeks go on and on. I don't always think that's a great strategy, but some people do. If you've been on the market, they're not real motivated sellers anyway. But remember, real estate statistics tell us where we've been, not where we're going. And we're really just back. We're in a pretty normal market. We've had a few years, since 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, just low inventory and just kind of weird, crazy markets. We're just kind of back to normal if you look at the numbers. Back to, 14, 15, 16. It's pretty normal. If you haven't been in real estate 10 years, we're about 10 years in it now. You haven't really seen a market like this. It's always been either crazy up, crazy down, or slow. But residential closings for Phoenix is actually for the year is up 4.5% over last year. And from March to April, it's up 4.7%. Nationwide, number of sales is down like 1.5%, maybe 2%. But in Phoenix, remember, all real estate's local, even neighborhood to neighborhood. But nationwide, sales are a little bit slow. And I will tell you, this seems a little bit slow, but it's really just a normal market here in Phoenix. So, we'll take it. It is what it is. I don't make the markets. I just tell you the facts. So, this is kind of a moment. I sat in a Cromford report yesterday with Tina Tambor. And, we're in a buyer's market mostly in general across the valley. There's 3 markets still in the sellers. It's Fountain Hills. Actually, Fountain Hills is the hottest sellers market, which sounds funny to say in the valley right now. They finally passed Chandler. Chandler for over a year has been the hottest sellers market. Now it's Fountain Hills. And, I love Fountain Hills. It's beautiful out there. Everybody thinks it's far, but you're actually closer. Fountain Hills is closer to Phoenix Airport than the Troon area. So you just go down the Beeline Highway there. And actually, that's how I go. I can be to the airport. And I'm in Scottsdale, but out that direction. I can be to the airport in 20 minutes. Maybe I shouldn't say that on camera because that's moving pretty good. But I'm an 85259 zip code. And I feel like people are just discovering this zip code. They don't want to travel. They don't want to be out. We are outside the 101, but North Scottsdale area. And I'm also getting calls to go way north, too. People who don't mind that. People who don't need to travel. But anyway, purchase applications up again. 17 or 18 weeks. Mortgage purchase applications is up again. So people are moving. Buyers need to buy, and sellers need to sell. So things are happening. You will hear April pending home sales was down. We had a lot of noise, like Robert Refkin pointed out. We had a lot of noise in April, the tariffs and things and just economic scares and doom and gloom. So maybe people pulled back for a couple weeks, and that hit right when the numbers were adjusting there. So pending home sales for April came out. It was a little bit slow, and that was nationwide. I didn't get a chance to look at Phoenix. But, we've just kind of been rolling along. We looking for properties. We've got a few listings that are getting some activity. So it is what it is, seeing a lot of buyers back out of deals too. Not our deals, but when you hire an agent to sell your house, make sure they have the experience to review that offer. Review the offer. It's not always the highest price that's the best offer. It's who's going to get you to closing table. And that's why when we work with buyers, we say you've got to have your financing. You need your proof of funds there. You need to say, show the seller, here, I have this much money. I'm approved for this much money. I'm going to close this deal. Because if I'm on the sell side, I'm going to take a big consideration in that over price over somebody who doesn't have their financing in order. And, I find the wealthier clients are not afraid to show you their bank account, understandably. So anyway, it's interesting. It's been a good It's been a good week. I've spent a lot of time on the desk here, just doing a lot of valuations and things. And actually, second largest sale in the history of Arizona just closed. A friend of ours, Joan, closed it. $30 million just closed in Paradise Valley. So things are moving. That's I don't know how she does it. She's awesome. She gets some big numbers, but and you know what? I noticed the past couple days there are some higher number, some 5 million and up properties are going from boutique firms, and they're switching over to list with Berkshire Hathaway. It's just that name gets recognition. And as I've told you before, I'm a 1099 employee. I'm a contract. I pay Berkshire Hathaway to use their name and their network and their resources because I believe in it. And I think the name is there and the support is there. What do they say when you're in business for yourself but not by yourself? So, that's why as a broker or as an agent, you can be with any brokerage you want. So it's just, we all kind of have the same tools. It's just, what is your network? And it's, like I said before, it's fishing. You cast the biggest net on the sell side and on the buy side. We know what's going on off the market behind the scenes. So it's kind of why we stick to them. Heading into summer, I looked the other day. Chicago schools got a couple weeks left, so we'll have those people start coming. It's too early to take your house off the market for summer. It's gotten a little quiet around town, which those of us that live here where people vacation, it's kind of a nice relief. California schools are still in school. So we see every year, as soon as school ends, then people come and they come shopping, looking to relocate. Right now, it's not on their mind. They just want to get their kids out of school. And, that's the majority of the market. There are the retirees and the baby boomers and things like that. But Scottsdale's a pretty family town, whether you're from here or not and believe that. But it's a pretty family town, and it revolves around schools and families. So got a few weeks left. Price your home right. If you want to sell it, price your home right, because I'm going to tell you up front, I think, the past few years we've kind of had a steady, historically Scottsdale, Paradise Valley has kind of dipped through the summer months. And the past couple of years we haven't really seen that. I think July, August, we might get a slowdown here. So if you're on the market, price your home right. But then again, on the buy side, you're going to start seeing deals. As these houses cancel, I keep them. I have a database, and I know that, and I can look up. Well, this was for sale in May. Let's go make them offer. I'm sure they still want to sell. They never sold. So that's kind of where our local knowledge comes in and helps the buyers that are relocating to the area or staying local, just looking to move up or down. So I saw a couple big listings. They were listed originally for $3 million. They closed under $2 million. So an asking price is just an asking price. Never be afraid to negotiate. And we're seeing some pretty funny requests from buyers. A buddy of mine had a buyer requested that they repaint. They gave him full price offer, asking price, but they requested that they repaint the whole inside of the house. Kind of odd, but they did it, just to get the deal done. So I love it. Everything's negotiable. And that's what I love about this business, is everything's negotiable. And that just comes from experience. So, people ask me, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? I cannot I can't answer that question. Every deal's different. Every situation's different. When you're ready, willing, and able to buy, that's a good time to buy. If you're ready to sell, downsize, upsize, move, relocate, whatever. Divorce, I don't like those. They're no fun to work on. But it's every deal's different. You can't time the market. And 20% on $1 million property is not a whole lot per month. So majority of the people work on a monthly budget. So, which brings me to, we'll talk about that in a while. Anyway, commercial. Residential, it's rolling along. It is what it is. Like I said, I don't make the markets. Let's sit down, see if you have equity, see if the numbers work. If you want to move, let's move. Let's make it happen. If you don't, that's fine too. So if anybody that tells you it's a good time to buy or a good time to sell really is looking at their own, they don't have your best interest in mind, because every situation's different. Sometimes it's better to keep renting. It's just, every deal's different. So sit down, have a conversation, and see what's happening. And that's just the communication. So commercial, interesting. We're still, we had our monthly big commercial meeting this month, and a general positive attitude between brokers. It's about 100 brokers at this meeting. So it's Scottsdale Area Association of Realtors commercial meeting. Best meeting ever, because you learn what's going on around the town. You learn the companies moving in and out. And commercial, everything's held pretty tight to chest. There's no MLS. It's just who you know and your network. And hey, I've got this coming up. I've got this available. I need this. And that's more the commercial side. It's more the negotiation. I don't want to say old boys club, but it is. It's networking, exactly. But you know what we're seeing? We're seeing a lot of private equity and corporate money come in and pick up mom and pop commercial properties, whether it's a small strip mall or in a small industrial and things like that. We're seeing a lot of the corporate money sees the value there, so they're picking it up. And actually, we went to Preston Steakhouse the other night with some friends, and they're closing because they don't own the real estate. Private money came in, bought the building, almost doubling their rent. Doesn't work for their business model. So if they owned that real estate, their business would continue and they would keep operating. But they don't. They can't afford the rent, so they're closing. So, hopefully they find another place to go, but it's a pretty unique buy. And, it's going to be tough to get somebody in there, but they will. It's market rents are up. If a business has been in an area been in a building for 10 years leasing, and they readjust the rate. Corporate money comes in, they readjust your lease price. Your numbers no longer make sense for your income that puts food on the table for your value, for your family, for your business. So own the real estate. I can't stress that enough. There's a million different reasons to own the real estate. So give us a call if we can help you with that. So there's a lot happening in commercial. The money's out there. The private equity sees the value. They're looking to come in. A lot of businesses coming into the area. FlexJet just broke ground on a $30 million terminal at Scottsdale Airport. They see that Scottsdale's growth, so they're spending $30 million to get their private jets in there. Komatsu is doing an $80 million equipment mining factory in Mesa. Swiss pharmaceutical company, I don't know how to say the name, but they're spending some money. Anita Verman, she's awesome. We met her a few years ago. She's really exploded. If you've driven from Arizona to California, you've seen the Vermaland signs. Well, that's her. That's actually her grandfather, I believe. But she's really running with it. She just teamed up with, what is his name? It's a former Facebook executive. He's a well-known guy. He's investing in the Valley. They picked up 2,000 acres for a data center for $51 million. They say they're going to spend $25 billion on that data center out by Buckeye, out by the Howard Hughes and the Bill Gates areas. So they see the value there. The sprawl of Phoenix is just happening, and there's nowhere else to go. So when you start attracting national large money like that, large investors, they do their homework. They know what's going on. So then, you as the small investor, you know where to go. You know where to put your money. So, commercial's busy. Commercials is in a good spot right now. Anyway, economy. We wanted to touch on base. We're getting a little long here. I didn't set my timer, but PCE this morning. Everybody's talking about uncertainty. What was that phrase that remember everybody was saying transitional high interest rates that never were. Well, now everybody's talking about uncertainty. Investors don't like uncertainty. Investors want certainty. They want to be rewarded for risk that they take. I had personal consumption expenditures this morning, up 2.1% this morning, and this is what I wanted to touch base on. Inflation is not down. Personal consumption expenditure or CPI or any of the other ones, they are indexes. Inflation still increased by 2% in the month of April. Just the rate of inflation is decreasing. So everybody's calling for Chairman Powell and the Fed to lower rates. Nobody sets rates. Chairman Powell and his group, the Fed Banking Committee, they set a target rate. That rate is actually determined by market efficiencies. Through liquidity, they buy and sell on the Fed balance sheet. Remember, Fed is monetary policy. U.S. Treasury is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is spending. Monetary policy is the money supply in the United States. So when people call for Chairman Powell to lower rates, they really have no idea what they're talking about. And sometimes I'm surprised the people that I hear that, because nobody sets a rate. There's buyers and sellers of bonds. That's what sets rates, and that's worldwide. We are a global economy. So, of course, they can increase and decrease the liquidity and the money supply, but nobody sets rates. And it's interesting. What's the 4-year or the 10-year? 10 years basic across the rate. It's another thing. The media always likes to talk about the 30-year bond. Nobody cares about the 30-year bond. I'm not going to be around. Well, I might be around in 30 years, but I won't be maybe I will. I don't know. 85, I guess that's not bad these days, but nobody cares about the 30-year bond. It's the 10-year bond across the world. So when they talk about the rates and the 30-year bond did cross 5% this month, or this week, but it's down a little bit again. 10-year, it's 4.40% right now, 4.402. So historically, in the past 25 years, you know what the average 10-year bond yield is? 4.5%. So we're below that. Over the last 50 years, it's 4.6%. We're below that. So, investors have to be rewarded. That's not bad. I'll put my money in and take 5% all day long. For 10 years, that's a no-brainer. So, but I'm old and pretty conservative. So anyway, it is what it is. What was interesting? Also, personal income was up 0.8% this month, or in April. That's pretty good. Personal income has been up significantly every month this year. So as personal income increases, people are working, they have money to spend. That's, prices are pretty stable. So the economy overall is pretty good. Stock market, which I hate to even mention the stock market because it's become kind of a casino I can buy and sell on my phone. So I hate to even mention it, but stock market's as high as it's been. We're having the best month this May since 2023. So people that talk about their 401ks down, you've got the wrong money manager. And anybody under the age of 45 years old has never managed money in a rising rate environment. 45 years old, that's pretty old. So when you see these guys on Twitter or the media or the news talking doom and gloom about the interest rate environment, they've never experienced it. It's like real estate. We're back to 14, 15. If you haven't been in the business 10 years, you don't know what you're doing. So you've never experienced this environment. And, everything's pretty calm, pretty normal. And again, it's my job to take the emotion out of the deal. Let's look at the numbers. I don't have to live in the house or sell the house. It's really, what do you want? And I'm here to help guide you through that. Which brings me to, you may have noticed we're not posting as many fancy inside houses as much lately. There's a lot of fraud out there. You're seeing a lot of AI, actually, I'm hearing on the rental side. I don't do a lot of rentals, but hearing a lot of fraud and fake stuff out there. So for our clients' privacy, I kind of am shying away from posting inside their houses. We've heard some stories about some theft and things. So, you want to sell a house, you got to get it out there, but you look back on ours. You'll never see any personal items in our posts. You'll mostly never see a license plate. We really protect our clients' privacy. And, that's why we call ourselves private client, because we work one-on-one. And, it's just, have you actually bought a property because you saw some real estate agent dancing in front of it? I'm not going to do that. But, some people like it. You guys like it. It gets the most clicks and stuff. But I'm not concerned about clicks and likes and things like that. So, but if you want to like this, go ahead. But anyway, go ahead. Send me messages. We get some good questions from clients, and that's where I try and touch base on these. That we get some good questions from you guys. Let me know what you want to see on these. I try to provide information to help you and let you know about the local real estate market and just things going on. But give me a shout. I'm here, 203-733-5877. Give me a call anytime. I'm here to facilitate, educate, and advise. Help you however I can. Anyway, have a great day. We'll be sitting right here working on some paperwork for most of the morning. So have a great day. Be smart, be safe, and thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.